Ready? Thank you, David, for this chance to talk to the community for the 5-minute council video, and thank you to Kendra Runnels and her staff here at the library for making us welcome in their staff room. Council's working on strategic planning and visioning. We're working with Christina Benty, who is from Golden and was the mayor there for years and a councillor for years before that. The big thing in Revelstoke these days is water is the boss. Big Eddy petition, successful. Thomas Brook neighborhood next to start their petition process. Farrell Road needs a revisit on costing and scope of that local service area project. Capital projects can't really start until the budget is approved. And this budget has been postponed to meet with the chamber, who are advocating for a decreased percentage of the tax pie for business, which means an increase at this stage for residents. The decrease currently for residential is simply that 80 million in assessed property moved from class 1 residential to class 6 business. That's a huge variable. And this is probably and most likely temporary. Over half of those property owners have filed to appeal their assessments with the BC Assessment Authority. So we have prudently put away that money in the budget because we may have to pay out quite a bit of it back to those tax property owners. During the budget preparations, which are done by all of council, new services were added, and rightly so agreed to by all of council. We added more commissioner time to deal with bylaw enforcement like vacation rentals, one more member of the RCMP. No cuts to services were made even though discussions were held. Annexations to the city are in the works. Thomas Brook neighborhood, the Treetop Hotel property, and the Catherwood property. I represented Revelstoke at the regional district meeting in Salmon Arm, where it was agreed to start on a plan for looking at 20 to 30 years down the road for the neighboring properties of Revelstoke. I had the opportunity to represent Revelstoke at a new dean selection for Salmon Arm Revelstoke. Two very high caliber candidates. Okanagan College's interest in Revelstoke has increased over the last year. The chef course is underway at the rec center, and I got to sample some of their lunch treats on the way in here. They're doing great. And Leslie Savage from the school board and Ken Norrie from Public at Large accompanied me to Salmon Arm, and we were very impressed with the potential future for the college in Revelstoke. A new hotel application came forward at council yesterday for Wright Street. 5.5 stories with underground parking. The density plan on this piece of land is so that it does not provide excessive shade to the neighbors. And notices to the neighbors were being mailed out today to all the accompanying neighborhood. Parks and Rec sending in to Columbia Basin Trust application for the skateboard park. Revy Splash Park, initial information being shared at the rec center on March 29th, Monday, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. It's a public open house. March 2nd at 7:30 at the rec center is the unveiling for the public of the engineered drawings for Mutis and the highway intersection. And that work is to start in the fall of 2016. Distillery public hearing was held at council yesterday, February 23rd, to hear Mr. Jones on his application for First Street Micro Distillery. An eventual restaurant is planned as part of the Business Grows, and this is the old Mount Begbie beer location. Mount Begbie's new location up in eastern Revelstoke is progressing well, and their building will be right below the Hillcrest Hotel. School district offered the city the Mount Begbie Gymnasium, and council has declined their offer at this time. Parks and Rec staff are to work with the boxing club and the cadets to find new homes if they need help. Nickel Road project for Mackenzie Meadows. Open house 6 p.m., public hearing 7 p.m., Tuesday, March 8th at the community center. This is a phased project, market driven. And asset management is underway with 2 staff taking part in FCM's course sponsored by Ottawa. People feel passionate about why some items have not moved along faster. That is, like paving that needs to be done, the heritage strategy that still needs to be done. Good baselines and asset management plan will move these things along, but the core work has to be done. We need to look at a housing inventory, and we need to look at the heritage registry work, and they're not forgotten. They're still on our radar. Council is not the only body investing in strategic planning. I know of 2 volunteer groups that are working on strategic plans these days, and succession planning is so important, as volunteers are the heart of Revelstoke. Thank you to all the volunteers who sit on committees, work in societies, work to help children grow up in sports and the arts, and you make Revelstoke close to heaven. Thank you. Thank you, David.